Midterm election day is just about a week away, and wouldn't you like to know which party will control the House and the Senate? Look, no one can actually tell you that answer right now, but what we can do is look back at history and see how other presidents have fared in their first and second midterms. Let me give you a little hint. There's a pattern. A midterm election is usually a referendum on the president in his first 2 years in office, and it's really common for the party in control to lose power after a midterm. President Biden's approval numbers right now are not great, and if you look back in most recent cases, you'll see those numbers directly impact midterms. Of course, the president's approval numbers are not the only factor in a midterm election, but they seem to be at least a fairly good indicator of final outcome. But before I show you the very interesting numbers, I wanted to quickly mention I put together a 2022 midterm election cheat sheet. It has all kinds of important information to help you keep track of which party is going to control the House and the Senate next year. It tells you all about the key races that could flip the balance of power in the House and the Senate. It has a glossary of important election terms that you're probably going to be hearing on TV, but might not know what they really mean. It has a scorecard to help keep track of who wins in each of the House and Senate races. It's actually how I used to keep track of elections when reporting them on television. So if you want the cheat sheet, it's linked. Now back to that interesting midterm history, and pay attention, as I said, to the patterns. Let's start with President Trump. After the 2016 election, Republicans controlled the White House, the House, and the Senate. But by the midterms, Trump's approval numbers were hovering between 38 and 40%. Republicans lost 40 seats in the House, and Democrats took over. But Republicans were able to hang on to the Senate. President Barack Obama, after his first election in 2008, Democrats controlled the White House, the House, and the Senate. But by his first midterm in 2010, Obama's approval numbers were about 45%. The Democrats lost 63 House seats and lost 6 Senate seats. Democrats lost control of the House but kept control of the Senate. In his second midterm in 2014, Obama's approval numbers again down between 40 and 42%. Democrats lost another 13 seats in the House and lost another 9 seats in the Senate. Republicans kept the House and took over the Senate. After President George W. Bush's first election in 2000, Republicans controlled the White House, the House, and the Senate was 50-50 and switched control several times. Now, Bush's first midterm breaks this pattern because in 2002, his approval numbers were about 63%. That year, Republicans gained 8 seats in the House and gained 1 seat in the Senate. Republicans were able to retain control of the House and took over the Senate. But in his second midterm in 2006, the pattern resumed. Bush's poll numbers plummeted from 2002. They were between 33 and 38%. Republicans lost 30 seats in the House and lost 6 Senate seats. Democrats took over both the House and the Senate. And then President Bill Clinton, after his first election in 1992, Democrats controlled the White House, the House, and the Senate. But by his first midterm in 1994, Clinton's poll numbers were about 46%. Democrats lost 54 seats in the House and 9 seats in the Senate. Republicans took over the House and the Senate. And in his second midterm in 1998, Clinton's poll numbers were 66%. Democrats gained 5 seats in the House and gained 0 seats in the Senate. Republicans were able to hang on to both the House and the Senate that year.